Sutra. At that time, Shariputra, knowing the doubts in the minds of the fourfold assembly, and himself not yet fully understanding, addressed the Buddha, saying, "For what reason has the world-honored one repeatedly praised the foremost expedient devices of the Buddhas and the extremely profound and wonderful Dharma which is difficult to understand? From the past onwards, I have never heard the Buddha speak in such a way. Presently, the fourfold assembly all has doubts. I only pray that the world-honored one will expound upon this subject. Why has the world-honored one repeatedly praised the Dharma which is extremely profound, subtle, and hard to understand?" Commentary. At the time when the fourfold assembly started to have doubts, the wisest of the hearers, Shariputra, knowing the doubts in the minds of the fourfold assembly, he knew that all the disciples had doubts and that their minds were confused and muddled. But although he was so intelligent and wise, he did not understand the state of the Buddha either. So the text says, and himself not yet fully understanding, addressed the Buddha. He addressed the Buddha, saying, "For what reason has the world-honored one repeatedly praised the foremost expedient devices of the Buddhas in such a way, repeatedly extolling and lauding them, praising the foremost expedient devices and the extremely profound and wonderful Dharma which is so difficult to understand? It is so deep, so fine and subtle, so hard to understand this wonderful Dharma of real wisdom. From the past onwards, I have been following Shakyamuni Buddha now for over 40 years. It took 8 years to speak the Dharma Flower Sutra and 1 day and 1 night to speak the Mahaparinirvana Sutra. If you spread the palm leaves on which they were written out end to end, they will stretch across a distance of 8 miles. Shariputra had been with the Buddha for over 40 years and he had doubts. When the Buddha was in the world, some of his disciples believed in him, but some had doubts. However, they all wanted to study the Buddha Dharma. They listened to the Buddha speak the sutras and they cultivated under him. They never left him. That is why the 1250 disciples are called his constant retinue. In every Dharma assembly, Shakyamuni Buddha always had at the very least 1250 people as an audience. Even if they did not understand the doctrines he was explaining, they still investigated the Buddha Dharma and came to listen. So the text says, "From the past onwards," the word past tells us that Shariputra had been with the Buddha and never left him. He listened to the Buddha Dharma every day and studied it every day. I have never heard the Buddha speak in such a way. When you spoke the Dharma before, you never said such important things, nor did you keep praising and extolling so sincerely like this. Presently, the fourfold assembly all has doubts. The entire assembly of disciples has given rise to doubts. They do not know where their confusion came from, and they do not know where it is going. They do not know where to begin, which Dharma to cultivate. This is a serious problem, and so I only pray that the world-honored one will expound upon this subject and elucidate this matter in fine detail to clear up the doubts of those present here. Please do not leave us as it was standing at the fork in the road, not knowing which way to turn. Why has the world-honored one repeatedly praised the Dharma which is extremely profound, subtle, and hard to understand? Why? We do not understand and So we ask the Buddha to be compassionate and instruct us. We respectfully await the holy instruction. Sutra. At that time, Shariputra, wishing to restate this meaning, spoke verses saying, O son of wisdom, great honored sage, long have you waited to speak this Dharma. Commentary. What is meant by the son of wisdom? In this world, the light of the Buddha's wisdom is like the light of the sun. Great honored sage. The Buddha is the God among the gods, the sage among the sages. Thus he is called the great honored sage. Before the Buddha appeared in the world was without the Buddha Dharma. A world without the Buddha Dharma is like a world without a sun. Without the sun, in the midst of the night, we are in darkness. When the Buddha appeared in the world, it was as if the sun had ascended into space, dispersing all darkness with its light. What does this mean? Before the Buddha appeared in the world was without a true principle. It was not that true principle did not exist, but rather that no one understood it. True principle, of course, neither comes nor goes. However, if no one points it out, people who have been sunk in confusion for so long will not perceive it. What is the confusion that people are sunk in? The five desires, forms, sounds, smells, tastes, and tangible objects. These are the objects of the senses, also called the five desires. Form. No one is able to see through and break his or her attachment to forms. People are attached to forms. Anything with a shape and appearance is considered form. But among such shapes and appearances, people select the good ones. People do not like the bad. They pick beautiful forms. Because they enjoy them so much, they think drunk with the objects of form. Sounds. People like to listen to music, to singing, and perhaps even to the chirping of birds and the sounds of people talking in pleasant tones. This is to sink and drown in the objects of sound, drunk on the defiling dust of sound. Smells. People also covet smells. If you eat one kind of food, you might smell another kind of food cooking and decide that you want it instead. After eating the other kind for a while, another aromatic dish may catch your attention and you will want to eat that. It is like being drunk on wine, sunk in the confusion of the defiling objects of smell. Taste. Today you may want to eat fish, tomorrow chicken, duck, or beef the day after. But when you are eating beef, you think that it is not as tasty as lamb. Whatever is hardest to come by is just what you think would be the very best. Things that you have eaten, you are tired of. This is because of greed and desire. To be caught up in the desire for food and sink into the stupor created by objects of taste is like being caught in quicksand. You just get one leg out and the other sink in deeper. You never get out of the quicksand. So it is with the object of taste. Tangible objects people like to come in contact with all manners of smooth surfaces. They like to wear silk and satin fabrics, which not only protect their skin, but are soft and warm as well. Men and women become attached to each other as objects of touch and so sink into the stupor caused by defiling tangible objects as if stuck in quicksand, unable to get their legs free. They just get one leg out and the other leg sinks right in. Thus, people are unable to extricate themselves from the realms of the five desires. Those of outside ways use the five desires in their teachings, and they do not lead living beings to break free of their attachments. Therefore, they live in a dark night, sink in confusion, in a stupor, in a state of dreamlike confusion, and the entire world is pitch black. When the Buddha appeared in the world, it was as though the sun had started to shine. People were taught not to attach to the five desires, the defiling objects of sense. So the text says, O son of wisdom, great honored sage, long have you waited to speak this Dharma. Long means that he never spoke it before. Shakyamuni Buddha had been speaking the Dharma for a long time, but it was always the provisional Dharma. It was a provisional wisdom. He has never spoken the real wisdom. Now, at the very end, the genuine wisdom is being spoken for everyone to hear. Sutra. Speaking of your attainments of such powers, fearlessnesses, and samadhis, dhyana samadhis, and liberations, and other inconceivable dharmas. Commentary. Shakyamuni Buddha spoke the Dharma for 49 years in over 300 assemblies, and from the very beginning right through to the end, he never spoke the real. He only spoke the provisional. Here, in the Lotus Assembly, he finally speaks the real wisdom. Speaking of your attainments of such powers, fearlessnesses, and samadhis, there are 10 powers and 4 fearlessnesses. Dhyana samadhis and liberations. There are 8 liberations, also called 8 renunciations of the back, and other inconceivable dharmas. These dharmas cannot be thought about with the mind or expressed in words. Sutras. Concerning the Dharma obtained in the Bodhimanda, no one is able to raise a question. I find its meaning hard to fathom, and I am also unable to ask about it. So you speak unasked, praising the path that you have walked, and that wisdom fine and subtle, attained by all the Buddhas, all the Arhats without outflows, and those who seek Nirvana have fallen into a net of doubts. Why has the Buddha said this? Those who seek conditioned enlightenment, the bhikshus, the bhikshunis, gods, dragons, ghosts, and spirits, Gandharvas, and others, look at one another perplexed, and then gaze at the doubly complete honored one. What is the meaning of this matter? We pray that the Buddha will explain. Commentary. Concerning the Dharma obtained in the Bodhimanda, the fine subtle Dharma the Buddha obtained in the Bodhimanda, no one is able to raise a question. I do not know how to approach the subject because it is the real wisdom, not the provisional wisdom of the hearers. Those of the 3 vehicles cannot even ask about it. I find its meaning hard to fathom, and am also unable to ask about it. Because no one understands it, no one is able to ask about it. So you speak unasked, praising the path that you have walked, and that wisdom fine and subtle attained by all the Buddhas. You praise the true, real wisdom, the extremely profound wisdom which is understood only by all the Buddhas in the 10 directions and by Shakyamuni Buddha. All the Arhats without outflows. Although they have ended outflows and are 4th stage Arhats, and those who seek Nirvana, or they are Bodhisattvas of the provisional vehicle who seek Nirvana, or perhaps they are Pratyeka Buddhas, have fallen into a net of doubts. Hearing the Buddha speak of the true, real wisdom, which is extremely profound, subtle, and wonderful, rare, and foremost, everyone has doubts. They have fallen into a net of doubt. If one has doubts, one cannot cultivate the way. As I have often said before, cultivators of the way take care not to doubt. Once doubt arises, it is easy to get lost. If you have doubts, you will lose your way. So now the hearers, the conditioned enlightened ones, and the provisional teaching bodhisattvas, every last one of them, have fallen into the net of doubts. Why has the Buddha said this? Why has he spoken such a frightening drama? It has caused everyone to have thoughts like doubts and to disbelieve, to be frightened and alarmed. Those who seek conditioned enlightenment, the bhikshus, bhikshunis, gods, dragons, ghosts, and spirits, Gandharvas, and others, look at one another perplexed. Everyone stares at everyone else. You look at me and I look at you, and nobody understands what is going on. Perplexed means that they have doubts, which have not been resolved. In their hearts, they do not know what would be best. Should they go south, or should they go north, or should they go east or west? They have gotten to the intersection, but they do not know which road to take. Where they stand in the middle of the street, not knowing which way to go, they are perplexed. And then gaze at the darkly complete honored one. They stare fixedly at the Buddha, not turning their gaze away for a moment. They stare up at him because he is sitting high upon the Dharma seat. They all tilt their heads back to gaze at him. What is meant by the doubly complete honored one? It means that the Buddha is complete in both blessings and wisdom. This is because he cultivated blessings and wisdom for 3 Asamkhya aeons and perfected the 5 marks of 100 aeons. There are 85 marks. An Asamkhya refers to an uncountable number. Here we are talking about not just 1 but 3 uncountable numbers of great aeons. How long is that? That time period cannot be calculated. How could you calculate an uncountable number? One cultivates blessings by making offerings to the triple jewel, by drawing near to all the Buddhas, by making offerings to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, so the Bodhisattvas, practical Buddhas, and Arhats. For 3 great uncountable ends, the Buddha vastly cultivated the practice of making offerings. He did not make offerings to just one Buddha, but to very many of them. One cultivates wisdom, first of all, by holding the precepts. Why? If one holds the precepts, one can give rise to samadhi. From samadhi comes wisdom. If you have samadhi power, you will have wisdom power. What is samadhi power? Samadhi power means not being turned by any external states. Neither good nor bad can move your mind. Whether the situation that arises is favorable or contrary, your heart does not move. If you can have an unmoving mind, you will have samadhi power. Once you have samadhi power, then you can have wisdom power. Shakyamuni Buddha cultivated blessings and wisdom. One cultivates wisdom by studying the Sutras. The study of the Sutras augments one's wisdom. If you do not study the Sutras, you will not be able to increase your wisdom. If your wisdom is not increasing, it is decreasing. Therefore, you must study all of the Sutras, Shastras, and the Vinaya. Study the Tripitaka diligently, thus cultivating wisdom. If you only cultivate blessings and do not cultivate wisdom, what kind of fruit will you reap? One who cultivates blessings and not wisdom is like an elephant wearing a necklace. In the future, you will be a big elephant, tall and strong, wearing a fine necklace. You will look striking enough, but you will not have any wisdom or intelligence. One who cultivates wisdom and not blessings is like an arhat with an empty bowl. If you just study the sutras but do not do good deeds nor plant good rules. But how does one plant good rules? Just by doing good deeds. By not doing any evil and doing many good deeds. This is to plant and tend your good roots. If you merely study sutras and never do good deeds or help other people, you will be like the arhat with an empty begging bowl. You may certify to the fruit of arhatship, but when you go out to beg, no one will make offerings to you. So you have certified to the fruit, they will say, so what? No one will make offerings to you because you did not cultivate the blessings in the causal ground, and so you have no blessings now. I often tell you these two sentences. To endure suffering is to end suffering. To enjoy blessing brings an end to blessings. You suffer. Why do you suffer? It is because in previous lifetimes you did not cultivate blessings, and so you must endure bitterness now. If you can endure your present suffering, it will pass. If you do not undergo that suffering which you deserve, it will remain latent. If you take what you deserve, it will disappear. If you have a bit of blessed retribution and you just spend your days enjoying yourself, you live in a nice house, eat good food, buy fine furnishings, the latest model car, or even your own airplane, so that you can fly around as you please. You do not take even the least bit of suffering. You use up your blessings. Once they have been used up, you will not have any more. Once you have enjoyed all your happiness, you will have to undergo suffering. Do you know how much happiness you have coming to you? If you enjoy it all, you will end up suffering again. Shakyamuni Buddha cultivated both blessings and wisdom, and so he is called the doubly complete honored one, complete in blessings and wisdom. What is the meaning of this matter? They stare unblinking at the world honored one, and in their hearts they hope that the Buddha will explain in detail the meaning of his praising the wonderful Dharma. We pray that the Buddha will explain. All of us ask the Buddha to tell us in detail the principles involved here, to tell us the meaning behind all of this.